An introduction to Adobe Illustrator. I would like to show you the benefits of using Illustrator in an architectural office environment. Before I proceed, I want to make 2 points clear. First, this is simply an overview showing you how to begin using some of the tools and palettes in Illustrator to meet your architectural needs. Second, the steps I'm about to show you can be duplicated in AutoCAD by creating a floating model space viewport in a layout, but I am using Illustrator to demonstrate the possibilities of moving beyond AutoCAD. I'm going to begin by opening the previously created elevation.eps file. Select File, Open, selecting the elevation.eps file. What I'd like to do now is zoom out. I'm going to use the Zoom tool, and I'm going to hold down the Alt key so that I can zoom out. I will now use the Hand tool to move my image to the left. I need to rotate the document, and I also need to rotate the elevation. Beginning with the document, I'm going to select File, Document Setup, and I'd like to change the orientation from Portrait to Landscape. Select OK. I am now going to use the Selection tool. I'm going to select the elevation, and I'm going to move the cursor to one of the 4 corners so that I can rotate my image. I'm going to click and drag, and I need to constrain to a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and now I'm going to release the mouse button. The next thing I want to do is select the Zoom tool and zoom out, once again holding down the Alt key. I'd like to use the Hand tool, but instead of selecting it, I'm going to use the space bar. I'm going to hold that down. I'm simply going to click and drag. Going back to the Selection tool, I can select the elevation, and I can modify the size. I need it to be proportional, so I'm going to hold down the Shift key. And then I am also going to move it up slightly. I now would like to zoom into a location below the elevation so that I can place my text. I'm going to use the Type tool, and I'm going to place text. I'll simply call this elevation. I need to go to my window, Type, and select the character palette. Using my Selection tool, having the text highlighted, I am going to increase the point size. I'm also going to center the text. Finally, what I'd like to do is add a drop shadow to my text. Going to the Effect pull-down menu, selecting Stylize, and select Drop Shadow. I'm going to change the shadow color. I'll pick a red color, and I'd like to see a preview, so I'm going to check the box. And as you can see, I have added a drop shadow. This is not possible in AutoCAD, and it goes to show the benefits of Illustrator. I can change the opacity. I can change the X and Y offset of the drop shadow, and I can also change the blur. Once you have it set to your liking, you can select OK. I'm going to pick away from the text, and now I'm going to zoom out. And finally, I'm going to close the file, but I'm going to save it as an Illustrator file. Selecting File, Save As. The file name indicates elevation.ai. That is the extension for Adobe Illustrator. I will select Save. OK to the Illustrator options. And I have basically taken an EPS file, made a few modifications, and I now have an Illustrator file.